All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I am joined once again with Steve from How to Hunt. How to Hunt, an incredible channel. I am now a big fan of your channel, Steve. I want to go up there. I want to go to Canada and hunt with you. I want you to take me out on some expeditions. Go find some Sasquatch. I don't know. Maybe even a Dogman. I don't know. But we're going to be discussing that today. But first, folks, we're going to be discussing. This is almost unbelievable. A lot of people don't believe in this. I've met a lot that are like, oh, okay, now you're going way off the deep end. You're going over the edge on this one. The Dogman. The Dogman. But I've heard enough about this creature that I don't put anything past the United States government, any government. I don't know if it's a genetically modified creature. I don't know what it is, but there's too many accounts coming out on this thing that we've got to give it some attention. But first, folks, get your noble gold. Call 877-646-5347. The U.S. dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s, when the dollar decoupled from gold, and the government seems hell-bent on continuing the tradition. From now until the next elections, the government can print as much money as they want. The last time they did that, inflation went up 9%, folks. Gold is the one asset that has proven to withstand inflation. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. You will also get a 24-karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now, noblegoldinvestments.com, or simply hit the box below and get started with it, folks. Get yourself some gold. All right, Steve, man, you said you were going to read some emails, and we're going to go pretty deep into this topic. Why should people even believe that this thing exists? Because it does sound very far-fetched. We're basically telling people to believe in werewolves, right?
The Dogman. Well, you know what? It sucks. I guess for a lot of people that might be here first through your channel that aren't aware of me, my background is I've been guiding for big game in northern British Columbia, the Yukon. I've been in Alaska, I've been in Kodiak Island. I've been all over the place. I've done I used to do around 250 plus days a year in the bush, right? So that's a lot of time. So in that time, as we discussed in the previous session we had, I shared with you what I've seen. Didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. I don't give a shit if anybody believes or not, or accepts it. It's not a belief. It's whether or not you accept that knowledge or not. I don't give a flying shit. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not my fault. So getting back to the whys and the whats about this next topic that you're thinking about cracking open, the Dogman thing. Just so you know, I seen one of these hair covered upright human beings known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch, which the Ojibwe natives always referred to as the 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗀. They referred to them that name before we ever got here. So we kind of shy away from the Bigfoot handle, right? Anyway, so I get slapped in the face with that reality. Instantly you start wondering, okay, what else you guys lying to us about, right? We discussed that in the previous show we did, right? So here I am going along and listening to the people. Then I realized, well, the government's the last group of individuals we need to listen to, period. Off to the curb, gone, out of the room. Don't even mention them. Now there's going to be another handful of people claiming to have some kind of credentials, wildlife biologists or scientists, and for that reason alone, their egos tend to let them think that we need to listen to them. And that's wrong too. Who do we got left? The people. You have to listen to the people, as we both know. There is so much power in the people. It's stupid. So moving along, everybody keeps asking me if I've seen this. Have you seen a Dogman? Have you seen a Dogman? And then, of course, I'm like, probably like you and everybody else. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Dogman.
And now they're going overboard. Now it's getting ridiculous, right?
That's what you think. They keep on hammering away, and it's coming from all different angles. And then you meet up with people as you go, people you respect, very knowledgeable people who dig like they're dogs. These are dogs. These people, they go at it. And then it's like I said, you got to go back to the people. Well, all right, now I've got, since I shared with you, I've received over 20,000 frickin' emails from around the globe.
20,000 emails just on this creature or on all of the Sasquatch?
I get them all together, but predominantly Sasquatch and this Dogman thing. I can't stand calling it a Dogman because it's just so hard to wrap your noodle around that handle, right?
Right.
A Dogman, really? A werewolf? What?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I always say, unfortunately, I've been forced to accept it. I have to. I'd be an idiot if I do not listen to 10,000 frickin' eyewitnesses around the globe that aren't linked. I'd be a dumbass not to listen to the people, right? So I had to.
Well,
I
well,
just.
hold on. Like, I mean, if you really think about this for a second, I would have never thought in a million years that giants could exist until I started talking to L.A. Marzulli and people like that that talk about the Kandahar giant. There's things on this planet that we are very much unaware of. This whole planet is a mystery. So I don't put anything past. I have a big question mark. My mind is open to all things. So now that we're talking about a dog man, I'm all ears, man. I know you got.
You're just like leaping way ahead too, right? Remember before we're gonna take it step by step so it freaked everybody out. You're like, screw it, I want to hear about the dog man.
Like,
Right?
dude, this is just—it's a crazy, crazy topic, and most people don't turn it off. This is really, it deserves a listening to for sure. Go ahead.
Well,
Sorry, I
look
didn't
at
mean to
the
interrupt.
what are they called? Petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, in with the Egyptians. What's the predominant one? That thing, the dog head on it, right?
Right, right.
Right. Where'd they get that from?
I
Anyway,
mean, do you think they were genetically modifying humans back then? And then this is all, I mean, seriously, I mean, I think
okay,
this could be
so
like a lab grown creature from like a deep underground base or something. That's what I'm thinking this thing originated from.
well, I got a funny feeling the deep underground bases came way after all this shit was going down. So
Right,
from
okay.
after doing my own diligence and digging and listening and discovering people and very intelligent people, incredible people, including scientists, the nuclear gang, right? Our favorite DNA expert, Dr. 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗹𝗆 Ketchum. She's in Texas, and as you know, I'm going to be hooking up with her. And speaking of that, guess what she has? She has DNA from these dog man beings. She's got it. She got the DNA.
She has the DNA. How did she go to accomplish something like that? How does she know
Uh,
it is from them? How does
she
she not
has,
know it's the fur from a dog? Or, I mean, how does she know this is from a dog man, the DNA?
well, she goes in the DNA, and lo and behold, there's human and canine or whatever. She hasn't. I haven't even asked her. I just said she is going to share absolutely everything she knows with me, which is absolutely mind blowing already. She even said to me, "Get ready to have your mind blown." And I'll hook up when I go down there. I'll hook up with
Knowing you,
you. All right?
Steve.
What's that?
Nice knowing you, buddy.
What
She's gonna share
do you
everything
mean?
she knows with you.
What do you mean? You're coming with me?
Okay. Nice knowing us. We're done.
Yeah. But anyways, she's very, very credible. She came into this without having any previous knowledge of any of this shit. And then she discovered, and then she's like, holy crap. And then now here's another one, and I'll probably be able to share this in an email today. So previously I mentioned the other friend of mine, 𝗫𝗵𝗿𝗲, the missing 411 man, the ex-law enforcement. And he picked Dr. 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗹 Ketchum to do the DNA research on the 114 samples that him and his colleagues acquired, right? And that's how they came up with the original. They did the DNA. It all went to previous human, female, unknown male, the mitochondrial, right? Absolute unknown male. 114 DNA samples. And along the way, and that was the beginning for 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗹. And then she came forward as an honest, kind, great woman. She came forward, and the scientific community sewered her ass. They don't want that out. Nope, you're now done. Poor woman was driven into poverty levels.
She was deplatformed and censored and just ridiculed,
Now
criticized,
we
right?
got her back. We got her back. We got her back. We actually did a GoFundMe a little while ago and got her whole pile of money to complete all these DNA studies. Anyways, she's got. I did so along the route. I'm busy. I'm busy and shit. I'm like you. We're both on the same page. We're just on a different. We're just both going crazy, right? And so all I know is I've had a few tidbits from her. I don't want her to spill it all in email because I'd rather sit in front of you and take it all in. She's going to hook me up with some other people who are in contact with the other beings all the time. We talked about that, and
The
then when I go,
Sasquatch, correct? The
yeah,
Sasquatch.
yeah, when I go down there, then I'll get her to explain the dog man thing to me because I'm not up to date on the actual facts. I've got a shit pile of first hand experiencers. We're talking thousands, thousands,
These
and
so these Sasquatch and Dogman, they can coexist together. I would imagine they'd be at war all the time. I've heard the Dogman is like a very evil type of entity.
not good. That's what I've heard from numerous people have informed me that they are definitely not friends. There's nothing friendly about it between them, period. And then the canine thing, like I've always said, like you know, my background up here, like I have the knowledge to go after and eliminate a pack of wolves. I've learned that skill a long time ago, because when you live rural, sometimes you just have to, and that's a whole different topic. So I know wolves very, very well. I know canines very well. And one thing about canines, they do not tolerate other canines, period, or other wolves, the biggest killers of each other. That's getting a little off track. What I'm saying is, from what I know about canines, and everybody says, don't shoot a dog, don't shoot one. You don't want to shoot one. You shoot one, you are in for it. I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit what anybody says. I see something semi-built like a huge human being, ripped, 8 feet tall, with a frickin' canine's head on his shoulders, and it's staring me down. It's getting holes in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's getting frickin' holes in it. And furthermore, if it is canine, if there's anything canine about it, when you are in wildlife, when you're in the wild, the number one rule is it's body language in wildlife. You stare down anything, you mean business. If I'm staring something down, that means they either want to bend you over or kill your ass, one or the other, right? There's no in between.
So if you see a bear out in the wild, a wolf, you stare it down, or you do not stare it down.
It depends on the circumstances. If I'm the predator, or if I'm just bumping into it. If I bump into its body language, I've got a shit pile of videos out there showing body language. I've come up on tons of wildlife, and if you want to look innocent, you just look away and start looking casual, and I'll go like this, like scratch my cheek, looking real casual. Any predator, well, you know, you're a fighter. We're both men around. Go to any bar. Not you. I mean, you're a big, intimidated guy, but you go to any bar, single some dude out and stare him down. It's not friendly, right? And that goes the same with wildlife. I don't want to start babbling about
makes
that.
Sense. No, it makes a lot of sense. That makes actually you related to me perfectly.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is, I see something of that description staring me down. I'm not waiting to see if it's going to come and get me. If it's looking at me and it's not leaving, which all wolves do, wolves do not want eye contact with us. They don't, period. And when they see, if you're lucky enough to see a wolf, it's only going to last for
so I've heard that most wildlife try to avoid humans. They kind of go the other direction. They don't want to encounter us as much as, you know, like a wolf, a bear, or anything, like even a Sasquatch don't really want to encounter. Right, but I've heard different with the Dogman. The Dogman is a creature that will like hunt down a human, stare down a human, like you're saying. Is that true? Am I right? Am I in the ballpark?
I'm not the guy to ask if they will hunt down a human, because I don't know if they'll hunt down a human. I've heard a lot of people have gone missing. I've heard the odd report of people, relatives coming up missing, and apparently one native community said their uncle got shredded by something. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm definitely not the guy. I'm not the guy at this point to give you reactions or actions of this being called a Dogman, because I was only forced to accept this fact not that long ago, right? Like
hold on. Let me just clarify something here. There are thousands, hundreds, and is it hundred? Now you help me out on this. Is it hundreds and thousands of different disappearances in national forests a year, or is it just in the thousands? Is it in the hundreds? What is it? What's the number? Do you know what the numbers are?
I don't know the number offhand, but it's right up there. There is, well, I think just on Mount Rainier alone, I don't even know if that's a park. There's something like 80 something people gone absolutely missing just on Mount Rainier. Gone.
Wow. And they don't ever find these people again?
Mm-mm.
No, wow.
I've had people go missing, not where I was previously living, just north of Whistler. As an example, there's a couple, mid-30s, fit, got their backpacks on, and they're going up into the mountains, which coincidentally is a very extremely popular hotbed for sightings of these 9 foot tall hairy dudes. And they went missing. Now, I mean, they didn't find nothing. Like, they did not find anything. No backpack, no strewn about clothes, nothing. And they're still missing. They still, every year, they put up fresh posters in the corner stores there and say, hey, man, keep an eye open, but they are gone, right? Then, you know, 𝗵𝗲𝗏𝗏 has also reported on infant children going missing right behind the parents and then being found.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I've heard infants.
Yeah. And then being found 2 or 3 up and over to the next drainage, up and over, then up, sitting on a freaking rock ledge, dead with no shoes on and their socks on dirty, sort of thing. Right? It really sucks.
Jeez, man.
But you can't say, well, it's a dog, man. But anyway, but one thing for certain is I will be getting delivered to me directly from the source where the Dogman DNA came from and what it is. So that information is here with us. We got it.
When will you able to disclose that?
Well, I got to get down there, man. Shit, you know me.
It's
I'm
in Texas. She's in
yeah.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, hit me up when you're down here.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm definitely. I'd imagine I'm not going to be. You know, it's like when you get invited somewhere. Hey, I brought a friend too. You know, but I
Yeah,
get.
yeah, 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 yeah. I got
But
you.
I'll
I
make
totally
sure I
got you.
touch base with you when I'm down there, even afterwards,
Uh,
because I have to meet up with her, and she has to. I don't know what she's gonna let me.
yeah,
I
no worries on that. Totally
We'll hook
understand.
up. Yeah, I'll hook
Yeah.
up with you. I'll knock you. I'll knock off meeting up with you while I'm down there and a few other people, and we'll keep this knowledge train flowing. Right?
Cool. That works
You
for me.
can't stop it. You can't stop it. But anyway, so what brought up the Dogman topic with you?
I got emails from people. Actually, I've been looking into this for the last couple of years. I would see things on YouTube and I'd be like, oh, this is bullshit. You know, like I was like, oh gosh, people are going too way off, they're going off the ledge, they're going off the deep end. And then as I started listening to these stories and eyewitness accounts, I'm like, man, if there, you know, I am a firm believer in the Sasquatch. I know they exist. I feel almost 100%, 99 to 100% they exist. But the Dogman thing, I'm like, all right, now you're talking about werewolves. This is getting ridiculous. But then I go, whoa, hold on. Before I go off the deep end, let's think about this for a second. There are genetic modifying programs. I know that the government does these things. I believe in extraterrestrials. I believe in so many other life forms. This is just another mystery to me that needs to be looked at. And I decided to look into it. Now I'm still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm not. This one is not to me like as credible as the Sasquatch, but it's fun to talk about. And if I know if I saw one in the forest, I would shit my pants and probably roll over and play dead.
You imagine seeing that description? Like
I've heard
it's
it's
your
the most evil thing anyone's ever seen. Like it's like an entity from hell.
I know it's crazy. It's so hard to. It's just such a tough pill to swallow. You know, it's like it's a real tough one to swallow. But we've been kept in such a small box, right? The human population has been just kept in this tiny little box for so long. You know what I mean? And now it's just really only because the internet people can talk, and then you got brave people coming forward saying, "Screw you, we're talking about it." That's the only reason we're getting loaded up with this information, right? And it's just too hard to wrap your freaking noodle around. So much is so hard to freaking wrap our beans around. But what makes me angry is and frustrated is it's almost like I feel like you know you're born, you go through the school, blah blah blah, and all the bullshit.
Indoctrination camps, yeah, you're trained.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh yeah, dirty bastard, you got me. Now I got to start all over again.
You
now I got to
spend your
like,
whole childhood being programmed, and then your entire adult life deprogramming. You have to unprogram and reprogram yourself, which is
yeah,
very hard to do. That's why people have cognitive dissonance. That's why people just go back into the safety of sticking their head in the sand. They don't want to know about this stuff. It
yeah,
hurts. It hurts their
yeah.
belief system.
There's food in the fridge. The bills are paid. I got my whatever. You know what I mean. We're on the same
Yeah.
page. But not me, man. I'm like, no way. And that's why I nonstop feel like I'm losing. I'm running out of time. Shit, I'm running out of time, and that's another reason why I continue to do. I'm probably living 5 different lifetimes at once right now. You saw with the shit I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm trying to do everything, but it's gonna make me real. I just don't. One of my biggest fears is dying, and then when you die, and then we go, oh, no way you got me, you dirty bastards. I don't want to have that feeling. I don't want to have that feeling when I die. I got it now, right? And I want to flip it around just like you. And many of us are on the same team. We want to flip all the bullshit around now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I want to know now. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And I
don't care
want
how
my neighbor to know.
uncomfortable the truth is, you know? I don't care
Yeah.
how uncomfortable it is. I think everyone deserves to know the truth no matter how uncomfortable it is.
Yeah. And that's why we're
I
here,
was
right?
just telling my friend yesterday, and I was telling him, and I was like, man, sometimes I just look around me, and I've experimented with plant medicine and things like that, and I was like, I'm pretty convinced that we are living in now. I do believe in God. I believe in God. I believe there's a master orchestrator, a master engineer to this reality, but it's highly mathematical, and I believe it's a simulation of some sort. And doing the plant medicine has showed me that there is so much more to this reality than we know, and it's a big mystery. And we're here. it's almost like we're in these avatars walking around like a video game, and everything seems so real to the touch, and you can feel and touch things, and it seems so real. But really, is this all just a massive illusion? And it's our higher selves are controlling our video game self here. I mean, what is going on? This is everything is just so it's like a lucid dream, you know. It's like why the whole existence, the fact that we are even on this planet, this spinning ball, like you said in the last show, hurtling through space.
Did you
Even if
just
that's
say ball?
if that's the truth, yeah.
Hey, did you
Are
just
we
say
on a
ball?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Now you're
I don't
gonna
know.
get shit on.
I know. I know. Listen, I don't know, folks. I don't know. I haven't been to space. I don't know.
You know, it's funny. I don't want to give this too much airtime. The flat Earth thing. I was going to say this is
Yeah.
one tiny tidbit. You know, because if you say we could be talking about children getting trafficked around the planet, and
Right.
if we said they're trafficked on this round ball, there's a huge group of people that are going to ignore the trafficking part and go, "You're not going to know shit until you accept the Earth's flat."
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay,
And I tell
pipe
people
down,
all the time,
Francis. You know what
yeah,
I
and I
mean?
tell people I just don't know. I just don't know. You know, I
I
have one
know.
foot in, one foot out on everything at this point in my life. It's like a big question mark.
Good God,
My whole
okay,
reality is up for question.
right? I don't give a shit what I don't care. For me, it's like, okay, you know what? Whatever shape it is, I don't care. The water's still running downhill. The forest is beautiful. The fish are swimming. It's working. Moving along.
Yes, exactly. And that's how
Moving
I feel
along.
about it as well. It's not really that significant to me. The fact that we're here is enough. This reality is crazy that we're
Yeah.
even here.
Uh-oh. This one just bugged out. I hope the live didn't just die for these poor people. They're gonna be shitting if they did. Sorry.
We'll get it back up again. Take your time.
All right, hold on. What's going on? It says it's live.
Oh yeah, you're still good then.
All right, hold on. All right. Well, you know what? If it doesn't, if the live fails, I gotta back up. Hold on, you guys.
If the live fails, I'll send you the file.
Yeah, if live fails, we'll get it going anyway, you guys. Yeah, and Nino haven't. Shit. Stop it.
You're as bad with
I
technology
know.
as
Well, what do you do, right? It's like, listen to Sean Ryan. It's like, oh, I got a team of 5 people doing this. I'm like, what, you lucky bastard? There's only
I
me
know.
here. There's 5 people. Right? I don't know. You know what?
I think that's why people like our shows is just that we don't have all the bells and whistles like everybody else does. We just kind of just shoot the shit and we go from there.
I'm gonna be getting shit all over for this camera right now. Shit on, but
I'm surprised your girl hasn't come in to save the day.
she's in Alberta with family. I'm solo. I'm just me and the goats and the horses and the
Oh
dogs.
my god.
Yeah. Oh my god, people.
Are they complaining?
How much time you got?
Oh, we can keep going. No worries.
All right, hold on. Oh, now it's playing it. Okay, wait 1 second. I can do this again.
Yeah,
I can do this.
don't worry.
Go live. Next. Go live. Yeah, there you go. That's all you get, you guys. If this thing fails now, I'm sorry. I do care, but we can't be screwing around with this shit. Oh yeah, the comment section is going absolutely retarded.
Oh, that went nuts. You turned off. You turned off. You lost us. You bailed.
Yeah, you bastard. I'm not subscribing. I didn't ask you to subscribe.
Yeah, I know. They'll go to that extreme too.
All right, I'm back. Let me switch this up. There we go. I don't know why it KO'd on me.
You know, man, our YouTube audiences are pretty cool though. They understand this. They're not. I think that's why they watch our channels, to be honest with you, because we have these fuck ups, these screw ups. You know,
it's all good, man. It's all good. Okay, hold on. Good God, All right. All right, it's live. That's all you guys get. If you don't get it right now, we'll have to do this later on.
But we were talking about reality, what it is exactly. Is it a simulation, whatever? But I think, after doing that, my point is after doing the plant medicine, I leave everything up for question. I
What did you
feel
do?
like what's that?
Which one did you do?
The DMT. I did ayahuasca and I think it's called 𝗲𝗓𝗻 where
Did,
you smoke. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did. I went and then I
did you
did
go?
that and then I did what's that?
Did you go to 6 different planets?
Oh, dude, I went and I encountered a being that was very conscious of me, that was aware of me, and I was aware of it. And it just kind of showed me this alternate reality with these live colors and sacred geometry patterns that was just flowing, and I could hear it. It was very peaceful and quiet, but I could still hear the whoa, 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 and it was like showing me everything made sense. It was like looking at a watch, and you look at a watch and you open up the watch and you can see the inner workings of the watch. That's what I feel this was. It was just like lifting a veil and seeing the inner workings of our reality, the
Holy
cosmic
shit!
cosmic math. So when you see something like that, there's more to this.
So did you
There's
retain
much
that
more.
whole? Did you retain it all for when you
Yes.
when the ayahuasca wore off?
Yep. I retained it all. And I
Excellent.
constantly and I often think back on it and I think to myself, no wonder this stuff's illegal. No wonder they don't want you to know this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's a spiritual awakening. They say, oh, it's bad, it's demonic. No, it's not. Not to me. Not to me. To me,
Well, I still
it helps with the awakening process, in my opinion.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go for it. I have a friend of mine. You may have met. I don't know if you know him. I won't say his name right now, but he's a big global MMA guy. Very intuitive, very healthy, very aware, and we might do it together. He's got a friend he trusts from South America who's a shaman, right? And
Got to be
we're gonna.
careful with that because everyone's a shaman these days, dude.
Well, yeah, I know,
They do
but
some
just
yoga, and then they're a shaman. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
everywhere. You got to
I
go
got a
with the.
dreadlock too.
But if you trust this guy, that's big. If you trust him, then 100%.
Oh
If he's
yeah,
done it
huge.
before, make sure he's done it before with this guy.
Well, he hasn't done it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go in together.
Oh man.
I'll keep you
if,
posted.
if that fails, if all else fails, contact. I'll give you my contact. Okay.
Well, just think, if it all fails, then my show will be a whole new person. It'll be who knows what we'll be talking about.
There is a guy, and then we're on the subject. There is a guy, Patricio. I forget his last name, but he was on the documentary that Joe Rogan did, where this guy at the university in Albuquerque, UNM, mainlined DMT, and they put him under, and he mainlined this shit in his veins and went to the other side. He says he switched souls on the other side in this other dimension, and came back a different entity. His name is Patricio. I'm trying to get an interview with this guy. I just lost his contact. Very secretive
So,
type of guy. He's an Apache Indian, I believe. And this guy mainlined this stuff and went over and like traded places with an entity. That's what he claims.
so he's gone.
No, he's alive. He just says he's
So he
something.
switched back.
It forever changed him. It forever changed him. He believes he's a different entity now.
Holy shit! This guy, and he's sane. He's straight up, very
Sure, I
intelligent.
met the guy personally. I've met him personally. He's up in Albuquerque. I'm trying to get a hold of him, and I know people that know him, but he's a very private man, which I would imagine after seeing that, I would be too. So I'm trying
Right,
to get
get me
him on
out
the
of here.
show. Maybe we could do a show with him, you and I, and just ask him, just fire questions off at him.
Maybe. Look at us.
That'd be a
See,
hell of a show.
we're talking about it earlier. We're gonna have to do like 15 of these damn shows because
Oh,
there's
yeah, 100%.
we're in a
I
cobweb.
love this stuff.
We're in a cobweb. All right. So the Dogman thing. So I think I basically got across. I'm not the Dogman Ayatollah guru, right? But I do have thousands of emails of eyewitness firsthand testimonies that people shared with me who they are. These beings, from what I can tell you right now with competencies, this description of being is global. It's on every continent.
Global. It's not just North America because the
Now,
stories I've heard is just North America. It's just
now
Canada and America, really.
nothing is just North America. Nothing.
But these things, like you've said to me, that the Sasquatch can also be seen in the desert. Don't tell me that this dog man can also be seen in the desert. What is it,
Yeah.
the
Where he
Coyote man?
closed the shades. Where he closed the shades, there was one right behind you.
Yeah, shit. I'm just saying, like they're not in there's no accounts of them in the desert, correct? Or are there? I don't know.
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere. here's the shitty deal. It's like when we first
So are
started
they?
taking.
So are these skinwalkers? Would they be labeled as skinwalkers?
No, that's a different thing altogether, I believe.
Okay.
Did you? I see Sean Ryan cracked open the Skinwalker Ranch thing with somebody on there.
Yes, he did.
Just so you know, I'm in direct contact with one of the scientists who were there before it became all public on a television show, the original dudes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, I got a lot from this. I got to bite my lip in a way, but I have a lot from those scientists I mentioned earlier, the nuclear gang, right? One of these guys is so full of knowledge, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I got an email from them right here that I can share tidbits with you in a second. He saw an upright 8-foot tall hairy being exit a portal on that property and go booking it into the timber with 3 other scientists.
So that's what it is, portals.
But isn't it just like, you just, for your average Joe, it's kind of like, what? Do you know what I
So they're
mean?
transdimensional. So that would make sense. I'm sure the Yeti are using the same forms of transportation. They're probably transporting, or they're using some kind of portal, dimensional portal.
Well,
That makes sense.
yeah, here's another thing. So years ago, when 9/11 went down, like remember I told you before, I used to go, I'd go guide in the ocean, I'd guide up north, I'd make sure I stayed single so I could just be footloose and fancy free, and then I get all these invites and plane tickets to the United States and around the globe, and I disappear for the winter, and I come down to the States, and I get the stories I got, dude, are stupid. The people, it's stupid. Just like you've got a million stories, I got some too. We can sit and talk a week about it. But anyways, in the meantime, 9/11 goes down, and I'm like, shit. Everybody's like, I'm not going down there. You know what I mean? Like, the United States is now the biggest target on the planet. And I had that very illegal but legal police ID issued to me from the state of Mississippi. That's another story. And I used to bring that with me. And I'm like, yeah, I need to be caught at the border with that. Like, I need a hole in the head right now. And I didn't go. So, make a long story short, a friend of mine was running the pipeline up about 100 miles shy of the Northwest Territory border. Okay. And I'm up there working the pipeline for the winter in camp, making a shit pile of money. Anyway, I'm working with this welder, and he was there when where they're doing the gas, the oil derrick, those the wellheads, and they got the flames shooting out the top of them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So these 2 bastards are stuck up there. They climbed up there in -30 because this 9 to 10 foot tall hairy being is walking around the lease below him, and he squat down and just sit there staring up at him. And he'd walk around a bit and stare up.
Whoa. Two human beings climbed up these damn
oil workers.
Yeah, climbed up there because they were in fear of their life because what kind of being was looking at him? A Dogman?
A Sasquatch.
Oh, it's Sasquatch. Okay.
Well, whatever. It's the description, the classic description. Here's this thing, 9-10 feet tall, 800 pounds, covered in hair, looking up at them. First, looking at them in the camp, and these leases are so remote, it's stupid, right?
Right.
These guys, for safety, well, let's climb up the derrick. Let's climb up. There's a ladder going up there, right? So they're both stuck up there, shitting themselves, looking down at this thing, and it's just walking around the lease. And they were looking at it, watching, and it's going around the lease, which is the gravel area they flatten out for the oil pipeline and the work, right? And this thing squatting down, looking up at them. And they basically said it was looking up at them with amazement. So here's where I come in with your common sense. I'm like, all right. So when you're in the north in the oil fields, those flaming towers are basically everywhere on the horizon. Everywhere. You can see them for miles. Where did this thing come from that all of a sudden it's absolutely amazed with this one flame on the top of this pipe? Why is it amazed all of a sudden? You've probably seen 50 of them before you got to that one.
Right.
Where'd you come from? How long you been here? Did you just get here or something? Is this your first rodeo? Do you know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense to me, yeah.
Yeah, as you're trying to figure the shit out for yourself and just look at it, it's like, hey, wait a minute. Why would you not
truly indigenous to this planet, then why are they in awe of fire on top of this, right? Is that what you're saying?
Why would you even make yourself visible to those guys? You would have seen these things since time began, and you would be able to avoid them, especially in the night, because you see the flames on the horizon. You can avoid humans like nothing. Right. Why all of a sudden are you exposing yourself to these 2 humans up there terrified, and you're walking around in amazement looking up like, holy shit, what's this? And what are those 2 pink-faced things up there? This just doesn't make sense.
It makes sense that they would be from somewhere else.
Right?
Yeah.
Where'd they come from? Do you know what I mean? So, but then you've got the DNA coming back as human female mitochondrial unknown male. What? You know, there's so much confusing shit going down as you climb out of our little boxes. But then, you know, getting back to the DNA thing, and these nuclear scientists, and I think I have that email right here in my phone. Hold on. Battery's dying on the other phone, you guys. If this dies, I apologize, but Nino have it back up. We'll get it back up to you probably this evening, right?
You don't have a charger just to plug it in real quick?
It is plugged in, but
wow, okay.
It's one of those wore out. It's my old phone because the battery, you'd have to just hold it. Now I've smashed it on the floor again. Whatever, is what it is. We'll get it up to you guys. If this fails, we'll get up to you later. Anyway, so now the nuclear scientists, guys, they have over 3,000 DNA samples.
Of these Yeti or Dogman? Or they don't know which one?
I prefer to refer to them as Sasquatch or the 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗡, only because the indigenous people in North America who we should have been listening to in the beginning, we didn't. So I just don't have it in me to call it, yeah, man, they're Bigfoots. No, they're not. The generous Ojibwe people told us off the get-go they referred to them as the 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗡 people. So I just refer to 𝗬𝗵𝗡 or Sasquatch myself. So they have over 3,000 DNA samples of what we refer to now as the Sasquatch or the 𝗬𝗵𝗡 people. They're a people, right? And probably 99.9% of the descriptions from people, there was no monkey or gorilla about it. It was a man. That thing was human, but not quite human, but it was a man. Don't even let anybody tell you different. It was a man. And every time I read an email from somebody and they say that, I always read that sentence twice, because our current mainstream scientific community does not want that acknowledged at all costs, right? They don't want that point acknowledged at all costs. No, they're not a human. They're not a form of human. They're just an unacknowledged monkey. Yeah. So they are a people.
Yeah, they'll refer to it as like the North American ape.
Yeah, kick that to the curb. That's why I had to get to you first, right? As soon as I heard you and Juan talking, I'm like, oh shit, he's got an honest curiosity. We got to get the people's information to him quick before one of those douchebags from the scientific community gets your ass first.
Right. Got you. Right. And I'm grateful.
Oh, I'm grateful for you, man. We all are, big time. So anyways, don't let anybody, well, you are gonna have to do your own due diligence yourself. I always tell everybody, take from it what you will or leave it, but don't try to stop people from speaking, because the people that try to stop people from speaking are guilty across the board every time. Doesn't matter the topic, right? So part of you wants to tell you, don't even listen to somebody who says it's a monkey. All I'm going to say is I can't tell you not to listen to anybody. But what I will say to you is, if I had to bet my life on it tomorrow, I'm betting my life, my family's life. These are a type of people.
And I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
Yeah. So, now getting back to the scientists that with the study, they did their own studies a long time ago. And what they said to me, I have that email here too. I did a little file with their name on it, and I found these significant emails that I want to share with you, which I found were significant for me, which we can deliver to the listeners. And what they said was that they are at the point now, this group of scientists. Now, we got to listen to what I'm going to say clearly, because, it's just like people in a car accident. There's going to be 12 witnesses and 12 different versions. And no matter what you say online, somebody hears something different. I don't know why. Right? So listen closely. So they said it is original human female. Okay. But what they did find out was the male side is made up of various origins of DNA strands. One of them being bear. It's just a little bit much, but what they said was, but how I first read the email was that the male side was bear. And then I got corrected. No. What the scientists know for a fact, what they're arguing with now is whether it's a current species of bear or a past previous species of bear. But either way, part of the male DNA makeup of the Sasquatch beings is bear. It could be an extinct bear, a brown bear. They don't know what it is. They're arguing about that point. And then there's some other things in there that they don't know what the hell it is yet. They don't know.
Oh, see, this kind of goes hand in hand with the fallen angels that have come down and mated with the woman, right? I mean, this with women, they found the women desirable and came down, and maybe this is all about genetic modification here.
Spiritual war, right? It's like they said,
right,
they're going to
right.
get back at God and try to do everything they can to annihilate everything He created in His image, right? It's like, no, we're going to get you. Right. You know, and I'm not, like I said before, I don't jump on any bandwagons, but I got ears.
This
I got
makes
ears
sense to me.
It is.
Why the female? Why female DNA and then unknown father DNA? That would go hand in hand with the Bible.
Yeah, and what they also said was that they know for a fact that I think they said over 100,000 years ago they can prove that DNA was intentionally manipulated. What? You know what I mean?
They've been doing this for a while.
Right. And then, here's another thing too. A sort of on topic, but a little off topic. So a handful of years ago, there's a species of salmon up here called a coho salmon. In Alaska, they call it a silver salmon. And in British Columbia, the coho run disappeared. It's very frustrating, right? Where's the coho? Where's the coho? Meanwhile, a friend of mine is an officer with the Coast Guard, which is actually amalgamated with fisheries too. He was a fisheries officer and Coast Guard. And they would go offshore and patrol for 30 days and come back in. When they came back in, we all hook up and go for beers. So here I'm sitting at this table, and there was 2 biologists there who also were at offshore for 30 days. There's 6 of us sitting there, and I'm just being the asshole because I know this question's going to make them go, oh, God. So what happened to the coho? Because they've been...
Yeah.
And the one biologist said to me, he goes, well, actually, you know what, Steve? The gist of it is, from the species that we know have came and existed and left, what's alive today is roughly 2.5% of what we know is come and gone.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa, crazy. Now get this one. So along my journey too, I've had a lot of offers from a lot of people to do a lot of good things. People who claim to be going on these expeditions and offering me shit piles of money to come and be a gunman or a guide and all sort of shit. I haven't really taken anybody up on it. I had another guy. Some of these people seem to talk a little too much, and your sixth sense, your intuition, which I rely on for everything. There's a red flag there. No time. But I had these other guys they said flat out that oil drilling crews machinery in Alberta have dug up computer chips from miles underneath the surface of the earth.
What?
Yeah. They said
that tells me this is all, nothing's new under the sun, right? Like that old saying.
Yeah, they also said that they know of a building. There's roughly somewhere, I think, west of Calgary. They said they found the remnants of a building that was roughly 400 meters square. The leftovers of a building underground.
A building. Like a building like today's building. It would
modern building.
A modern building. So so that would tell me this has been it's repeating itself again. It's cyclical.
Shit's been going on.
Putting this together.
Civilized communities, different civilizations, modern, have come and gone without a doubt. I mean, look at the freaking pyramids, right? Look at all that shit.
Yeah.
Laser cut, and then you see in our school books, oh no, they had bamboo scaffolding. They had bamboo scaffolding.
This is information they will never let out to the public. They want you to stay with the evolution of, no monkey wrenches can be thrown into evolution. They want you to believe in we're the alone planet in outer space, hurling through space. I mean, look, there's question marks on all of this for me. And but especially when people like you, it confirms it.
But why? 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 What's going to happen? Why can't we have all this information? I don't get it. It's like with all the whys, like I said, when you crack these topics open, when you get slapped in the face with looking at one of these things right there looking at you, it changes absolutely everything. Well, you either go one or two ways. Like I shared earlier, you either go, and you never speak of it, and you excommunicate whoever was with you and don't want to look at them or talk to them ever again. That's a real common pattern. Or you get obsessed with the topic and make t-shirts and have a page and put on camouflage clothing and trail cameras and off you go, right? Or your brain goes, you lying sons of bitches. What else have you been lying to us? Why? And then you start digging like we're digging. But here's another one on that lines. When you talk about all the shit they're keeping from us, one pattern that I'm observing currently to the past handful of years, we'll use some characters in the States as an example. Like you take there's something going on that a group of people do know. And I don't know what it is, but it's where my brain is leading me. It's like you take anybody in, I don't know, let's say you've hit 65 years old, 70 years old, I don't give a shit. You've got grandchildren, you've got children, they're safe, they're successful, you've got a home in every country in the planet, right? You've got all the money you need. Why is it that there is a group of people on the planet today that dedicate their lives to fighting for power? What is it you know that I don't know? Why is that?
Right. They want to hold on to that knowledge.
And what we know the typical players that are doing it today, right? Especially on the dark side. Why are you so adamant? I mean, if me, all right, I'm worth $100 million. I think I'm going to stay in politics and fight like a dog for power. Well, you got family and grandchildren. You can wear out flip-flops on every beach on the planet. How can you not doing that instead? What is the drive to make you fight so fiercely, so miserably for this power? What's the drive? What's going on? What do you know that I don't know? I don't get.
Right.
That doesn't.
That's what's so sacred to these people. And like I've always said, secrecy by nature is evil. Yeah. If you're withholding any kind of secrecy from humanity, that's evil in nature. To me, that's why when people talk about the Masons or this and that, and I'm like, well, look, bottom line, if you're withholding information from the rest of your fellow human beings in secrecy, that's evil. That's evil to me.
That's a penalty. That's a game misconduct. That's like kicked out of the league. That's such a bad line to cross. Yeah, it's really, really dark. And that's why I always say, I mentioned before, those guys, the men in black, show up at these experiences. You pricks, you filthy pricks. You guys were playing baseball and growing up right alongside us. Like you said, well, maybe they were, maybe they weren't.
I think maybe they weren't. I don't think or they're MK Ultra. I mean, who knows? I mean, they've had a number done on them,
I don't know. It's like I said earlier, like how are you motivated to go against your people? I mean, there's only one of two ways. You've either shown an example of what they're going to do to you and your family, your children, or they've shown you an example of what they're going to do to the planet. That's the only way I could picture myself going dark in a way and supporting the dark side. It'd be pretty freaking hefty of a threat, right?
Right.
But man, we're going down 16 different holes, right?
I know. But all right, let's jump back to the Dogman. Right. Let's get to the Dogman, because this to me is a topic that I'm trying to get on board with, but I'm having a hard time.
All right, so what this I'm going to share everything that I know so far. Is your typical description is 7 to upwards of 10 feet tall. Okay, shoulders and arms and legs like a man, ripped.
And I heard they're like bodybuilders. They're enormous.
Ripped, right? Glowing red eyes, not reflecting, glowing red eyes, but the glowing eye thing is absolutely a massive pattern with these Sasquatch 𝗵𝗶𝗶 beings. They've had everything from white to blue to yellow to red, shades of color, glowing.
So they share that with the Sasquatch.
I don't know what they share with the Sasquatch, but I can tell you this: these people, the Sasquatch people, have glowing eyes when they want. Apparently, maybe when they don't want, I don't know, but they got it, and it's those various colors. Now, the Dogman thing, numerous people have claimed to have seen orange or red glowing eyes on this thing with a muzzle like a German Shepherd, a muzzle like a wolf, pointy ears on top of its head. It looked like a frickin' werewolf standing there staring at it, growling, looking menacing. Now, when I've said publicly online, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Something of that description staring me down in what I call the real world, which is out my back in the forest and the mountains. I'm in the real world, and we go by body language as law. You square up with me and focus on me, and you're staring me down, looking like that. I'm putting holes in your head as fast as I can.
Right.
Sorry. Anyway, so when I say that publicly, you wouldn't believe how many people have said, they private messaged me, don't do it, Steve. Don't do it. You will draw retribution to your home, yourself, and your family. Don't do it. They're never alone.
If you shoot one of these Dogmen.
Yeah, that's the word in the street. I don't know. I mean, do I know that as facts? Having a freaking clue.
So you either get ripped apart alive and killed and shoot one, and then what? They come and terrorize you forever?
Apparently. Well, on that note, though, get this one. So I know a native guy here I met, and I heard this story earlier, but then I met his relative who saw the carnage. This guy's out hunting not far from where I am right now, right? Sees one of these beings described as a Sasquatch being, Same
That's what's on
description.
the Dogman. Okay.
Shot it, dumped it, right? And then he's like, oh shit, I did something real bad. He goes home that way, and that way is up and over the next mountain. So he's back towards the east side of the island. And he lived about 20 miles away or something from where he shot this thing, right? That night, his little home, his little trailer got the living shit beat out of it. It looked like a Bud Light can on the ground right now, right? Caved in.
Wow.
Yeah, and this relative of his told me
what was happening, or like the next day he realized what he did.
Yeah, I can't remember that exact detail if he did it while it was going down or the next day, but he couldn't take it, and he whacked himself, right? And this guy told me, oh yeah, he says it was beat in all the way top, bottom, side to side, beat. The carnage was crazy. But then get this one. Then there's another guy. There's a man in Alaska. I forget his credentials, if he's a biologist or not. He was investigating a Sasquatch thing big time in Alaska. They're making these sounds, making these calls, doing the same old shit. Then he goes home over 40 miles away. And as soon as he gets in his drive, he gets out of the car, the exact same sounds they were making 40 miles away boomed out of the timber rattle when he got out of his car at his home.
Okay, so that tells me that they like transport. They have some kind of way of seriously, think about it. There's some way they're doing this.
Something's up.
Nothing's off limits.
Yeah. Okay, back to the Dogman. So that's the description I got. I don't know. You know what I mean? I haven't a freaking clue how many eyewitness reports I've had emailed to me of that description. It's off the freaking chart. Well, it's enough that, like I said, you know, and you know my history. I've been a big game guide for a long time. I've been around all over the freaking place. And even after all of that, if somebody tells me they've seen something like that, I'm going, oh my God, get off the crack pipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I think I'm 5 years in now doing this shit. And I would be an absolute dumb ass to ignore these thousands of honest people who didn't ask. They didn't ask for that shit. They did not ask to see this description of a thing stand in the woods looking at them. They didn't ask for it. But you imagine how disturbing it must be to see something with that description and not have anywhere to go.
Do you have emails you could read?
I've got a couple of significant emails which I feel are significant. I can read, but no, I don't have a Dogman email I can read right now. Like I didn't go out because it takes so long because I can't do a search.
2,000 of them.
Well, yeah, I can't. And when I do a search Dogman, not many people put Dogman in the title. It's in the email, so my search on my inbox won't pull out enough of the Dogman.
Right.
There could be, but more importantly, though, the emails that I did put together yesterday, specifically for you to hear, was directly from the military pilots with the infrared beam.
Can you read that?
Oh, yeah, I got it. And I have a conversation between the nuclear scientists when they came to the study of those beings. I got it right here.
Have at it, my friend.
Let's get into it. So you get time. We get time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got a buddy sitting there that's shaking his head.
No, he's just like, he's chilling right there. Yeah, he's just like listening, like, what the
fuck? Does he watch Honey Boo Boo?
The shit, right?
Yeah, I always razz people. Well, you know, Honey Boo Boo needs a bunch of people to follow that shit too, though, right?
Let's hear this. It's crazy.
All right. This is from the pilot. Now, listen, these guys are, just so you know, this is the very first email to me. I know who he is. I know where he lives. I know who his friends are. I also have put various guys in the military together that are eyewitnesses of this crazy
shit. You've connected them?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Okay.
So listen to this. Steve, thank you for what you do. I hope this email will find other OEF veterans and convince them to tell the story as well. I won't say my name because I'm still active duty and have attempted to scrub this email of any identifying information for fear of ridicule. I am a fighter pilot. I was flying top cover late one night over the Nuristan and Kunar, northeast provinces of Afghanistan. At the time, 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗏 was an American patrol base located deep within the 𝗀𝗂𝗿𝗏 Valley, right at the Kunar/Nuristan provincial border. It was surrounded on the north, east, and west by steep mountain cliffs. It sat on the east side of the river, and its valley only open to the south, a 𝗪𝗡 River Valley. It was pretty much the worst spot in the world to get stationed, sitting ducks. Taliban owned the high ground on 3 sides, and our only exit was the sheer valley to the south. Every day, our guys would take indirect fire from the mountains, and we would get called to drop bombs to suppress. It was a classic whack-a-mole. Often, we would get tasked late at night to provide armed overwatch. In other words, look to plink bad guys so our guys could get a good night's sleep. It was sometimes boring, but we were happy to do it. We were armed to the teeth, fat on gas, and looking to pick a fight during nocturnal overwatch. One night at around 2:30 a.m., I found a large, quote, hot spot, end quote, in my targeting pod. It measured roughly 2.5 meters in diameter on the valley floor, sort of huddled in a mass on the southwest corner of an east-west plowed field. It seemed out of place. I elected to zoom in and take a closer look. It appeared to be moving, as if it was a large live animal huddled over, attempting to dig into the field, as if a human would, by squatting low and pulling back earth between its legs and both arms. He was probably below freezing, in the dead of winter, and a light snow covering the ground around it. The only area not covered by the snow was the earth that seemed to be disturbed by its digging. We frequently captured bears, camels, horses, and even a few snow leopards in our targeting pods. And I assessed it initially to be a very large bear digging in the field. I transmitted to my wingman, "Hey, dude, I think I've got another big-ass bear digging in the field here south of the FOB. Send it." He replied, asking me to send the grid coordinates. I immediately fired my laser/infrared IR pointer at the bear, attempting to laser range its coordinates. As I fired, it abruptly froze its movement. What happened next bothers me to this day. It quickly alerted straight up on 2 legs, bracket, holy shit, it's tall, and bracket, turned up and left to look at me, and with its left arm and hand attempted to block the laser IR pointer from its eyes, as if it saw it. Keep in mind, these are only visible with night vision devices. As I was passing the grids to my wingman, it then panicked and took off on 2 feet directly east. It was huge. Tape reviewed later revealed it was at least 8 feet tall, possibly 4 feet width of the shoulders. It was heavily muscled, and it had no human clothes. It bounded at least 2 meters with each step. It was covered in long hair. Quote, "It's tracking east," end quote, I announced. By the time my wingman got sensors on it, it had reached the east end of the field. "What the F is that?" he asked. We both then tracked it and argued as to what it could be. Bear? No. Person? No. Wolf? No. It easily cleared a small creek and then took off straight up the hill, continuing east. That hill had to be at least a 45-degree incline, and it was bounding up at a rate no man could achieve, all on 2 feet, sometimes slight lateral waddle. Its arms swung wildly as it climbed, pumping with both bent elbow and sometimes at full extension swing. It was incredible to watch. Despite what you may think of, I'll leave this guy's name out because I don't promote, I've done my diligence.
Yeah.
Another researcher. Despite what you think of blank blank, his video of the Sasquatch running up a hill most closely resembled how it moved. It had made it approximately 150 meters up the hill when my wingman hit it with the laser/IR pointer. It immediately froze and squatted down, motionless but still visible to us. "Holy shit, it sees the pointer," he said. "Yeah, I know," I responded. We then had to debate as to whether it was an extremely large enemy fighter wearing NVGs, and decided it couldn't be because it was late at night and he was alone with no weapons, no clothes, and was probably below freezing, not to mention its size. It waited motionless for about 5 minutes after the IR pointer had ceased, and then took off again in the same direction up the hill. From our orbit, we had trouble tracking it from the east side as the rocky outcropping blocked our view. But 2 minutes later, we lost it in the rocks, perhaps finding one of the multiple caves/crevices in which to permanently hide. Discussions about its about its possible explanation were soon cut short because confirmed human insurgents needed to be killing to the southwest. End of story. Or so we thought. We immediately poured over the tapes when we got back to base. Two others witnessed the video, one of whom suggested we had captured a Sasquatch or a Yeti. Jokes then persisted about the difference between an Afghan Yeti and an American Bigfoot. They joked, but the two of us on the flight did not. It was too surreal. The tapes eventually got overwritten by real-world events or events over the coming days. It turns out combatant commanders don't give a shit about one Yeti when they're busy losing a war. A few weeks later, I bumped into an Afghan interpreter, originally from 𝗂𝗵𝗲𝗽𝗏, 𝗂𝗵𝗲𝗽𝗏, whatever, roughly the same area. After small talk, I finally mentioned what I had seen, and I asked him what he knew about it. His response was dead serious. Yes, you saw a 𝗵𝗲𝗏. Did you kill it? No. Too bad, you should have. They take our women. We kill them as soon as we see them. Have you ever seen one? No, but my father killed them when I was young. Wars have moved them away. You should have killed them. I was in disbelief. I've seen and taken part in some pretty horrible things over here, but this one bothers me for two reasons. You get good at recognizing different things in a targeting pod: men, women, children, animals, all species. You learn to recognize their patterns of life. I could even tell you an American/Canadian soldier versus a European under infrared just by how they move. For this, however, I have no catalog of experience from which to pull. I end this with two questions. Number one, do any other OEF veterans have a similar experience with the quote, unquote, 𝗵𝗲𝗏? If so, Steve has a great forum here. We're listening. Number two, does anyone have any story regarding their ability to see laser/IR/IRNG? I wish I would have had the wherewithal to select one or the other to see which one it was reacting to. So that was the first email, and then you had a follow-up.
So that tells me a person would never be able to see infrared hit them, right? These things,
No,
these things are these things are very sensitive, and it hurt this creature.
Yeah, because he sent the follow-up. I'll try to scoot through. Holy cow, part one, shareable if you want. Begin shareable content, because I got a bunch of stuff I can't share in the emails, right? Orbit means, well, he was taken back by how popular the email went off on my channel, obviously. So he just wanted to clear some things. So he said orbit just means flying in a big circle in the sky, no big deal. The IR spot or a footprint on the ground isn't a pinpoint thing like you see coming from a soldier's rifle. It's huge, powerful, and depends on the slant range it's firing from. It actually appears on the ground to someone with night vision as a large, slowly rotating, as I fly around the orbit, rectangle. It was somewhere around 6 foot to 10 foot in size at the time I fired at that thing. When somebody on the ground with night vision gets hit with the IR pointer, it appears like an instant rave nightclub. You're bathed in it and it flashes. So under NVGs, it's almost blinding and it's all around you. For this reason, I don't think it somehow sensed it. It was probably bewildered by the overwhelming visual stimulus surrounding it. I also don't think it heard us. My wingman was nowhere near it. I was southwest of it at 5 miles range at approximately 8,000 to 9,000 feet above it. Plus the winds were light out from the east. I was far away, up high and downwind. Trust me, we tried rationalizing the incident via sound as well. Then what else? Pointers and several stories he shared. He says in the end, he's convinced these things can see the IR for sure. Not a doubt about it.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. Yeah, this is the long emails, man. I have no idea why I was digging. Better explanation of the motion is someone at the beach. It looked exactly like you would start digging a big hole in the beach, sand without a shovel. Legs spread, bent over, both arms scooping backwards between your legs. Yeah, so there's that one. How crazy is that?
It's not crazy to me. It's just validation because but it's telling me that these things are highly sensitive, they're highly in tune, and it's seeming more and more to me that they travel through a cavern systems and are able to teleport. So maybe it's a little bit of both.
They got it going on, man. They got it going on. You got to give them respect. They're going through this lifetime without needing anything and not paying taxes and not getting caught up in our bullshit.
Exactly. And
Right?
that's
They're
what
winning.
we feel yeah. But I also feel that they could be it coincides with the Bible as these fallen angels took to our women because they all have
Yeah.
the mitochondria of the woman, right? That DNA, and then the father's side is unknown. So that would
Yeah.
go hand in hand with what it says biblically. So there's
Yeah.
so much putting together here that make a lot of sense for me.
Yeah. And just so the people know, that's just one email out of 20,000. And I have so many military veterans, sorry, military veterans and current and active military people emailing me all the time. They do it. They do it all the time. And they are also very diligent at giving me enough that I can confirm who they are. Right. So it's a good thing too. I'm trusted on
You're
you,
the
right?
right amount of information, but they trust you that you don't air them out, which is good.
I haven't sewered anybody. Never will.
Yeah,
Do you believe how many people try to shame you into say it anyway? You're just as bad as everybody else.
I know. You can't do that. You can't betray trust. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a channel, man.
Yeah,
you know, that's why people send you this stuff.
Your words,
they
if
trust
your words
you.
are nothing, you're nothing, right?
Yeah. Do you have
what else?
You can read? I've had people and I'm thinking about doing a show of this, and maybe you might want to chime in on this one. But the reptilians, I've had people email me about these things as well. But I am, I'm not ready to touch into that just yet. Maybe we could do a show on that some other time. But
I get it all the time. I get tons all the time.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those lately, and I've almost want to really dive into that, but I feel like we got to take it in steps. You know what I mean?
Right?
It's just
I know,
crazy. Like, let's just start with Sasquatch, then we'll move to Dogman.
Yeah, then the very next day, let's go into Dogman. I'm like, oh shit. Meanwhile, we're still at the bottom of the stairs, right? Just
I mean, it's unbelievable. But I think the way you prime people into understanding this, accepting this, is starting it the way we are doing, the way we're talking about it right now. To me, because even to me, I'm putting together pieces in my mind as you're talking. That's like, that makes sense. Ooh, that I've heard that before. That makes sense. That kind of clicks with this. This piece fits. This piece fits. It's making sense to me now, and that's what is so important about these programs. You can hear a million stories, but the way you're putting it together for me, with the past stories I've heard, is really putting pieces of the puzzle together. It's amazing, dude.
You know what I've been doing?
I'm not eliminating anything. I'm thinking it all kind of goes together. The whole cavern system, the transporting interdimensional. I think it's all part of. It's all the same. It all comes together. They're using it all.
Well, how could anybody show me one human being that? How can you get into the position to go? Nope, that's not true.
Right. Yeah.
Really? Oh, thank God you told me. Why didn't you tell me before? It could have saved me all this time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, it's bullshit. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't talk to those people, Steve. I don't talk to those. I don't want them around me.
No, but here's another thing too. As we go along, or as I've been going along this ride, what I have realized, which is very, very important, which will help people a lot, is it's almost like, it's shitty. It's like we're starting all over again, going to school over again. It is. If you are really open to learning and realizing we're getting screwed, it's like going to school again. So we have to, in a way, unfortunately, I have to subtly direct people to think for yourself. You have to, and it's tough. It's tough for people to think for themselves today, but you have to override you have to get in tune with your intuition. You have to get in tune with your gut instincts so that you know what's right or wrong when you hear it. You have to get in tune with you, because I'm firm belief we do know the answers. Our sixth sense, our intuition, our gut instincts, call it whatever you want. And you have to get in tune with that so that you can either take from something what you will or leave it. But don't let me dictate to you what to take or what to leave. You need to break free and listen to yourself.
Well, they want us in groupthink. They're trying so hard to keep us herded like sheep. They don't want any of the sheep straying off and thinking for themselves. And that destroys the whole system. Yeah, so they're trying so hard to keep. That's what school is about. School, and people are like, oh, he's so smart. He got A's. He's got his diploma. No. He memorized a lot of stuff that they told him was true. He didn't think outside the box. He did exactly as they said. To me, that's groupthink. That's hurting their indoctrination camps. And that's what's so
Absolutely.
great. Do you say that now to somebody at a dinner table? Oh my gosh, can you believe this guy? He
Yeah,
doesn't think
right.
getting a diploma is, get what I'm saying here? You understand what I'm saying? I
On the same
respect the
page,
person
man.
that does it on their own, that charts their own territory, pioneers their own trail, and makes it in life.
Yeah, how
Doesn't
about
there?
this one? Like, it's so hard to imagine now. Okay, I'm a parent. My kid just turned 5. Off he goes to school. I'm going to put my kid in that closed room with that one adult at the front. I
Dude,
don't know
why
who the
don't you
person is.
homeschool? Can you homeschool?
Everybody should be homeschooled. But you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
It's like, all
can.
right, so you're going to stick this kid in this room with everybody else, and you're going to sit there on your thumbs, don't talk, and you're going to memorize what that one adult at the front's telling you. And if you don't memorize it perfectly, you're going to fail. Right? Like, who knows who these people are originally? You know what I mean? Who knows what they're into, or
Yeah.
what they've done, or who's I gotta bite
Dude,
my lip
I was
because
unprogrammable as a kid. I was always a kid that was like putting dog
I
shit
can
on
tell.
my teacher's desks and fucking. I was a bad kid, but it was like the stimulation I needed for my brain. Like I needed to get in trouble. That was me, and you know what I
Mm,
mean. Actually, I can't believe it paid off.
yeah, well, yeah, no shit, right? And yeah,
So,
we could.
so Steve, am I going to be able to get out there with you and go hunting with you? And I'll book the trip and everything. Let's do this.
What do you want to go hunting?
Or fishing. Maybe fishing's more of my.
But you're not a hunter normal. You're not a hunter,
I have a
right?
hard time killing animals, man. I
So
just do.
you don't need to go hunting.
No,
But
I
yeah, we
like
can
I
go
broke
hunting.
my heart when I had to kill that kangaroo. Like when I killed the kangaroo, that messed me up for a very long time. So, and I didn't even eat it. It tastes like shit to me, but whatever.
I,
But I would
I
like to
got
go
it.
fishing.
Oh, we'll go. We'll go. I'll take you some crazy places. I'll show you grizzly bears. We do all sorts of shit. But
Dude, let's do it, man.
we'll do
I'll
it.
book a trip out there. I
We'll
mean,
do
I
it. Now
promised
listen.
myself I'd never go to Canada, but I guess I can go.
It's not Canada. It's Canada Stan.
Yeah, Canada stand.
Listen to this. Here's from the Nuclear Gang. All right.
Okay, yeah, read this one. This
Uh,
is one I'm gonna do here.
Another one you got to listen to. All right. This is a conversation. This isn't directly at me. Okay, hold on. The pilot guy had them underneath each other. All right. So, given the foregoing, there are but a few conclusions that can be drawn from the evidence. A, given the final luminosity of maximum 4.5 lumens at a measured distance of 1.65 kilometers, the reaction by the subject was identical to the initial 800 lumens at 100 meters we began with. So they're talking about what these beings they're studying, how they're reacting to that. Remember he said to put his hand up in the pitch black?
Yeah.
I'm missing part of this email, but this is a good part here. B, in scrutinizing reactions of varying light levels, page 8C. Yeah, I've got all this. I've got the whole study, man. And proportionally increased distance, the absolute low light we successfully applied was 4.5 lumens. Fortunately, due to continued use of candle power, candela P17.4A, we can make comparisons easier. Mean spherical candle power P19.6. C, using that formula, we can safely say the final luminosity level is approximately 1/3 of 1 candle power. The light they used was 1/3 of 1 candle power. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Note, the night vision observation binoculars do not emit light. They only amplify ambient light. They were not used at a distance further than 100 meters or less than 97 meters. The final placement of the light source was at a pre-measured distance, see above, at an altitude of approximately 110 meters. There still remained ambient light, of course, from the night lighting at the north end of the power plant itself. This is at a nuclear power plant. They're studying these things, studying them. Okay, so the
Wow.
scientists studying
Wow.
these beings, studying them at the nuclear power plant site. Originally, we didn't think it relevant. We realized it actually was. The light sources were at all times hidden. Okay, so their light sources, while they're looking at these beings, were at all times hidden inside a box painted matte black, made from 3/4 inch marine plywood. The manual flash of light was held for less than 1/10 of a second. At every distance of every light power force, the reaction of the subjects was nothing less than instant. We chose 3 separate nights, commencing each experiment at 2 a.m. Available light was measured and was within the limits was set. We have referred to them as a family unit. We got accurate sizes from pre-placed calibrated posts. So they knew where these beings are watching them from. And that's also how they got their DNA. They also said they got these things hit the DNA traps with no reaction at all. And so usually it's typically either tape on something or even other times a needle that swings and sticks them. They didn't give a shit. Subject one measured 3.01 meters. That's 9 foot, 10 foot 9. Subject 2 measured 2.56 meters, 8 foot, 4.78 inches. These things are usually stooped over too, right? So they rarely stand straight up like us. Subject 3 was measured at 1.93 meters, 6 foot, 3 inches, 3.98 inches. Subject 4, see below simple conclusion, even at the longest distance, 1.65 kilometers, using above, all 3 subjects instantly reacted to our light sources by a slight turn of their bodies and a long stare in our direction. The larger one stared longer and also reacted 4 separate times to a wave by my hand in complete darkness and at the final level. Continued. Given the repetitive nature of each element and uniformity of test, to the best of our ability, we believe our conclusions to be as accurate as one could possibly get, arriving, blah, blah, blah. This is all these guys just babbling on their report. My general feeling is one of amazement. I itemize what I believe to be general abilities. So they refer to them as the juveniles. I don't know why, I can find out, but they refer to them as the juveniles. I don't know why.
Oh, because they weren't the size of them, the difference in the size, right?
Yeah,
like a teenager, they're the ones that are 6'5".
So if these are the ones they're referring to as juveniles, what the F are they calling the adults, right?
Okay.
So when he stood up, okay, I lost it. Okay, gee, while I was writing about, oh God, I lost my spot. How did I do that? Fourth specimen observed was not taken into our calculations. Our calibrated posts were set at a maximum height of 4 meters from the ground level. Okay, I should probably just forward this to you. Not be obtained for the measurements. My general feeling is one of amazement. I've itemized what I believe to be general abilities. Okay, they're back to the juveniles. These juveniles have such an acute night sight ability as to be absolutely stunning. It's quite clear that they have a binocular vision that permits them to move around on the darkest of nights, perceiving their surroundings as well as an average human is able to in the middle of the day. Their eye coloring is low or zero light conditions. Their eye coloring in low or zero light conditions varies according to conditions. The red eye shine they emit is clearly a powerful beam of infrared light. This again clearly indicates an ability to perceive and be aware of their surroundings in zero light conditions. Part of their spectrum clearly uses light gathering capability, and a contra indication shows that what we perceive as visibility, such as car headlights, can temporarily blind them in all other lighting conditions. They supersede our ability by a proverbial mile. Put simply, they see in the dark as well as we do on a bright day. They also pick up the lowest light level we use as if a searchlight was shone at them. What? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In fact, it confirms what we thought, that our IR camera lights, barely visible to humans, they see from a distance of more than a kilometer. What? Hence, trying to capture behavior by use of a hunting/trail camera will be seen by them. As we
That's
see,
why they never pick them up.
Yeah, so they say they see our trail cameras as will be seen by them as we see a 20 million candle power searchlight.
Wow.
Right? They proved it. Put simply, they know we capture them on our security cameras. Obviously, remember I said before, all these scientists,
so they're aware of this.
all these nuclear scientists have seen these people looking at them through their security cameras numerous times, quote, numerous times each around the globe.
So they're letting us know that we know that they are there. They understand we see them. That's
when it comes to the nuclear sites.
They're letting themselves, they're letting themselves be seen.
Listen to this. This finishes with note. Further details to be delivered on this curious, quote, dog-faced cryptid following publication. Much to learn of this creature, not all of it favorable.
On the Dogman.
Will complete and distribute those findings ASAP. So they're onto those things too. And they said
so
they're not.
This is all coming to light, and they're sending it to you.
Yeah. Well, these two individuals are. We've had there's a few of them together, but we also had two other ones that they talked into sharing with me. They backed out. They were like, no, because they even gave me names of their colleagues around the globe that have been offed. Right.
Wow.
I was right.
Over the Dogman or over the Sasquatch.
Everything.
Whatever the crypto.
Various topics, right?
Yeah.
Free energy, whatever scientists go against the grain, well, they just pop them. See ya. Hey, man, I discovered free energy. No, you didn't.
Bing. Yeah, you're done.
So these are very brave individuals, these men. And the one, man, I'll read this or I'll even forward it to you later on so you can wrap your noodle around it.
Please.
But the one scientist who's included in these conversations, but not this conversation, the Russian government laughs and scoffs at the North American government over this topic because the Russian government, and China too, China has a park set aside for these beings, and they only let various scientists in there at one time during the year for a short period to see if they can study them, and that's it. They kick them out. They leave them alone. The Russians scoff the North American scientific community because of what they put out as their disbelief attitude towards these beings. For the Russian government, they've confirmed them and accepted them as fact ages ago, and they don't have a clue why we don't. Anyway, get this one. This one, I'll forward you this. I got to remember to. This one nuclear scientist recently gained access to these beings, and he said, quote, this thing let me touch its forearm and its leg, and he said it was like touching frickin' stone. And he also said that it let him feel its body as it changed its body temperature to extremely hot to extremely cold. Sorry. He said,
its own body temperature.
Yeah, get this one. He also said that he couldn't see it, but he knew it was beside him from the condensation from its breath.
So they got invisible. So they're able to wow.
It's a bit much. Like we're jumping up. We're jumping up to the third flight of stairs from the bottom.
That's how the Indians say they're half spirit. They're physical and spiritual beings.
Dude,
how do you?
They outclass the living shit. We're nothing. We are nothing. They outclass the living shit out of us. But why are they making?
But they still have human DNA,
right?
So
who came first? Who manipulated the DNA? That's the big question with these guys now. Who manipulated the DNA way back when? Who did it? Right? It's just like I said. Once we climb out of our little pre-programmed boxes, the tunnels go we're in the middle of a freaking cobweb with which strand we're going to pursue, right?
But this is what is so unbelievably fascinating. And Steve, I just want to say thank you for coming on again. Let's do another show. Let's do many more.
We have to, right? I mean, we have to.
And then and then if I go fishing with you, we'll record the whole thing.
We could. Well, I don't. We won't be able to
get raped by Bigfoot.
Oh God. I'll just look. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and hope for a dance, and you know.
You've been in jail. Man, Steve, this is fascinating stuff, man. I don't even. But it did connect a lot more pieces of the puzzle to me. Like seriously, this is golly, man. It's just fascinating.
Dude, those are 2 emails. That's just 2. Yeah. You'd believe the shit I'm sitting on is absolutely it's ridiculous. And those are just 2. Oh, I got to share this. It's an important point. 100% of our who contact their sightings, 100% of them said the terror inflicted on them from their experience seeing one of these things was 100 times worse than the worst nightmare they saw in combat.
Of the Dogman or the Sasquatch?
Sasquatch. Well, both.
There's terror. Yeah.
Dude, you know military, you know our veterans, right? 100% of them said they would go back to combat in a drop of a heartbeat than to experience that terror again. They said it was absolutely, these guys are A-type, kick-ass, freaking, you know them.
Not badasses. I know, yeah.
And these guys are breaking down saying they were so freaking terrified. It was off the charts. And that is, I don't know how many of our veterans have emailed me. Hundreds of them. And they're not connected. Every single one of them said the terror was absolutely off the chart. Why is that?
Like you said, it changes. You know, some people hide away, and then or some people embrace it. Man, I just
That's frustrating for me is when
as bad as I would want to see one. I don't know how I would ever react if I did. I mean, I'd go paralyzed.
Well, that's a shitty deal. It's like we're talking about when I go down to Texas, possibly hook up with these people that are communicating with them.
That's crazy.
I'm still on the fence.
You got to like keep me in the loop on that, man.
I'll be going to your place. As soon as this is the plan. Yeah. As soon as I go down there, I'm going straight to your place.
You come down to El Paso, I'll take you out on the dune buggy, dude.
Well, screen just froze. What's going on?
You're back. I got you.
As soon as I go there, we'll hook up. Well, you're sure where you are. If you're in Vegas, I'm sure I'll fly there from there. We'll hook up. As soon as I get filled in on what I can share publicly, we'll hook up.
All right.
Dump it on. No freak living shit out of each other.
Let's do it. Right. Steve, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna check out of the hotel now and get the hell out of Vegas. I can't stay in Vegas too long. But this was, I don't even know what to title this. We talked about so much stuff. Give me some ideas. Give me some titles.
Why don't you just title it Military and Scientific Reporting on the Sasquatch beings?
But I wonder how YouTube will handle that. You got to pose everything as a question on YouTube, by the way.
No, I've got everything on my title. I've got everything you can come up with on my titles. I've got another thing too. We were doing the math the other day. I didn't know it live, but we figured I've been sharing an average of 2,000 plus eyewitness accounts a year.
And wow! And you're fine.
I haven't even cracked open
but who's 𝗫𝗫𝗃? Is that her name? The doctor? I've heard they went after her like crazy.
Of course they did. You know how it works. It doesn't matter what the topic is. The good people are getting hammered on. They go after and discredit them, right? Good people don't discredit people online or in professional world. We don't do that.
Right.
It's to the point now, when you see somebody getting absolutely attacked and discredited, instead of just, there's a difference. You can expose people for what they've done, right? That's easy and that's bad. But when you're trying to expose somebody for sharing truth, that's dirty and dark. And that basically tells me that the person who's receiving that is right online. Listen
right over the target.
Listen to them.
Wow.
And take from it what you will or leave it. But use your intuition, your common sense, because it will tell you if it's legit or not. You don't need another human being to go, oh no, that's legit. Okay, thank you. We gotta bust free of that frickin' conditioning. Right. We know the answers. You have to get in tune with your natural self, right? And listen and don't stop listening. And you have to listen to absolutely everybody. People say, well, what if, some of these people are writing in bullshit? Perfect. I need bullshit written into me so I can see the difference because I know.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I put everybody up on Nino's Corner.tv. I let my audience decides, and this is going on YouTube because I think it's safe. So I'm putting it up there, and this is
there's nothing here I haven't shared online.
Yeah. No, this is fascinating. Steve, I'm going to check out of the hotel before they kick me out. And I don't want to lose some more money.
It's real thankful that we've hooked up, man. I'm so happy that we got to you first. The people got to you first. And then,
because I would have went in so many different directions. I'm glad that we got put in contact and we're doing this, and many more to come, folks. Much more to come. We got more topics to explore here, and I am going to make a trip out there. You're probably going to come out here before I go out there, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, do you know about the time frame?
No. I got so much shit, dude. I got to get the next couple weeks, and then I'm going up north, and I'm bringing my Starlink, and I'm bringing a power pack, and I'm going to stream
Oh,
live
nice.
from the middle of absolute frickin' nowhere.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that. You're gonna live stream from the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm going to do all sorts of crazy shit with it
Oh,
for sure.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. And then,
all right. So I'm gonna try to put this up this evening if I can get it to the people just in time. I'm gonna try to do that today. Yours is live. You're still live, or did it cut off?
It's probably cut off. I'm getting shit on left, right, and center. But one question. So is my Zoom recording this too?
No, only if you record it. But I can send you the file.
Yeah, send it away.
I'll send you the file.
Yeah, send it to me. How do you send it? Do you send it on Zoom or on email?
On Google email, Google Drive. I'll send it to you on your email, and then you just download it on your computer and put it up on YouTube.
I'll throw it down, and then I'll try to do a little more like I specifically looked for those 2 emails before today, just so I can share that with you.
If you could sift through some more, let's do it, dude. Let's.
Oh, I can't wait to show you
thousands.
Yeah, I can't wait to show you the video that's on my phone.
Please, dude.
Ooh,
please.
I'll bring you down with me. You're gonna be like this.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, I'm out.
Appreciate you, buddy. Big time. Be safe.
Well, but later.